Hey fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the Grayscale Trust as well as some earnings. So with that being said, let's get it. All right, so my apologies y'all for not being able to get a video out to you on Friday as promised, but I have had a very busy weekend, so I'm gonna try to get it to you guys out Monday, Wednesday, Friday of this week. So let's go ahead and hop into it real quick. So we left off yesterday, or not yesterday, last week on the earnings. So we're going to go ahead and go forward on those a little bit. So we are now on the 28th and this is the 23rd. So the big ones that we want to be looking at here to kind of gauge this earnings season is going to be Google and Tesla. So yeah, the Nasdaq's doing fine. We don't need to look at that today. Ethereum is also moving up quite a bit too as well, which I wanted to cover a little bit here. So let's take a look here. So the thing I'm pretty much looking for here is Ethereum to keep ripping to new all-time highs, preferably above 4,800, and for this Bitcoin dominance to continue to flash sell to the downside and money to roll out of Bitcoin into altcoins. I think that's when we get the big alt season and the Grayscale Trust finally do start really popping off to the numbers, some of the numbers that we've been talking about. Okay, so we'll go over Google and Tesla now. Okay, so Google looks good. We had a beat on that. That's not really much of a surprise. And Tesla is kind of always a coin toss. You never really know. Okay, so they did beat in this case. It wasn't a huge beat, but it was still a beat nonetheless. Okay, yeah, not really much of anything that we need to look at here. I suppose if you were going to look at something, maybe you could look at Intel and Union Pacific would probably be another good one because that's freight. They're shipping freight on trains across the country. So if the demand is pretty high, they should have a beat. Okay, so Friday, nothing on Friday, and we'll take a look just at today's. So not really much going on today. Visa, we'll definitely have to take a look at that one. That's a big one. We talked about that last earnings season. Microsoft, maybe Qualcomm and Lam Research because those are semiconductors and I forgot about this one, also ARM. Those may be worth looking at. And then Apple and Amazon, MasterCard on Thursday, and the oil companies on Friday. So that's pretty much going to be the gist of what we look at this week. Okay, so now we're going to go over the trusts real quick. And again, kind of what I'm looking for here is for the basically the alt season to take place and then for these to start moonshotting. So the thing I'm kind of looking at here, and I don't know why that took so long to load, is a break at this downtrend line. You can see it very clear, plain as day. If we get that, a close above it and a close above the EMAs, we should be set to start flying to the upside. The support retest buy area I'd be looking at right here would be at these EMAs at about 870. Again, the target we're looking for is up here at 54 for the first one, first major target, I mean. Okay, BCHG, kind of same thing here, except we did get a break of the trend line. Again, the candle that broke it's not really that big, but it did still get above it, so that's what matters here. The buy area at 375, and then the target all the way up at 24 is what we're looking at. It's about 515%. Okay, we might be looking at a possible undercut here on HSEN. That wouldn't really surprise me. Again, this, if you look back into the left, you'll see that there were some previous support areas right around the area that it bounced. So at this point, I would say probably anywhere between 36 cents to $1.05 is a pretty good deal. And then 1050 would be the target I'd be looking at on this one. So if we just take where it bounced at 54 cents and then swing it all the way to that high up there, it's 1,700%. ETCG, this one's looking a lot more bullish. Again, the breakout with Ethereum doesn't really surprise me at all. So a retest would possibly be somewhere down here at $9.50 to about $10. The target level I'd be looking at is kind of somewhere in the 17 to 20 range for about 96%. Okay, ETH, we are starting to test that upper bound now. I mean, I told you guys, kind of down in these areas that this at some point was likely going to happen. Now we're actually seeing it. So Support bounce area here would be at 2250, and then the target I'd be looking at could be 36 or even all the way up here at 72. For roughly about 215%. Okay, GBAT, nice little possible double bottom there. Support, I'd be looking at 115 on this one, and then the target still is going to be at the all-time highs. I mean, smaller cap altcoins like basic attention token, they have some. I mean, they could move very quickly and a lot in a very short period of time because again, the smaller the market cap, the bigger the move. So, 2,700% here, FILG. This looks like a kind of a basing structure, so I would say worst case scenario maybe 250 for a pick me up, and then the target's still going to be at 400. For just shy of 17,000%. GLIV, it does appear we're trying to make higher lows here, so that's a good sign. Next support level here at 530, and then the target's going to be up at 80. For 1,400%, and this is a pretty big support zone, so it's likely going to bounce, probably, if it does go back in there, somewhere in that area. G-Link, I'd be looking at the EMAs at this point for a bounce, so 3,350. And then 220 would be the target on this one, and again, we kind of want to keep an eye on this downtrend line as it moves up because it could potentially hit some short-term resistance there. I mean, it's just your typical classic bullish breakout setup is what we're looking at here, so 550%. And then GSOL, again, it does appear to want to be making higher highs and higher lows. So I'd be looking worst case scenario down here at 1040. I mean, it could just keep rising from this point. It is retesting a structure zone, so 1,000%. Okay, next one here, GXLM. This gap's probably going to get filled, so I would say likely somewhere around that $29 area is what we'd be looking at, and then 69 for the target up here for about 129%. Mana, this one looks like it's bottoming out as well. This does appear to be some kind of double bottom forming here. So pick your poison, anywhere from 150 to 350, and then the target all the way up at 70 for about 4,800%. And last but not least, Zcash. So again, we do have possible maybe an uptrend starting here. It does appear that we want to be creating some higher lows here. So the pullback area I'd be looking for might be right around here at 330. And then the target, of course, would be that swing high that we've been talking about for eons. And once we get past that, we can talk about future targets. It's for about 215%. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.